Hi friends, good time it is. It's math time. We are on lesson 25 today, but we're starting a new topic today. Remember, a new topic is when we start learning something new. We're adding on to our knowledge today. So let's see what we're going to learn today, and then we'll get started. I can solve math stories with addition and relate to subtraction. Oh, there's our new thing. I can model and write a matching number sentence. So we're going to look at how we can solve math stories with addition, which we've been doing that for a while now. We know how to do that. And we're going to see how we can relate it to a subtraction sentence. That's something new we haven't done yet. So we're going to start looking at subtraction now. We're also going to see and show different ways that we can write these sentences, okay, these math sentences with addition and subtraction. So, things you will need today. You will need a whiteboard, not just for our application problem, but for Miss Singleton. Today, so you'll need your whiteboard for Miss Singleton. We are not going to use little counter bears that she's going to be using because we don't have them. If you have them, or you have a manipulative that you would like to use while we're doing this, by all means use it, but we don't have them, so we don't need to use them. We do need our whiteboard though, okay? So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna exercise our brains, and we're gonna start doing a fluency. You are going to do, whoop, hold on, I gotta get to it. Number box. It is in your Google Classroom. Go look for it. It is labeled M1L25. Your number bond dash, because there's my friend Dash. We're gonna see how fast we can do it, just like Dash. And you're gonna set your timer for 2 minutes, okay? See how many of these you can get done in 2 minutes. Pause this video, then you can come back to me, and then we will keep going, all right? So I'm gonna pause my video to get ready for the application problem. You're gonna pause your video to do your number dash. See you in a flash. All right, friends, you should be done with your number dash, and you should be ready to start your whiteboards with application problem. This is where I become, well, try to become Detective Ray today, but my hair's up. My hat's not gonna stay on. Ooh, that looks funny. Okay, we're gonna try to keep it on. We'll see how it goes. May have to take it off. Remember, when we do our application problem, we have to read the entire thing. Think of it as our file with the information we need to solve our mystery. If we're detectives, with our detective hats, can't keep it on today. If we're a detective, we need all the information we can gather to solve the crime or the mystery or whatever it is we're solving. So we read through the whole thing, find out what we have to solve for, and then we go back and we look for our clues. Remember, we do this every day. So let's keep those ears on because there's a lot going on with this problem. So let's see what we got. Taylor and her sister Riley each got 4 books from the library. Then Riley went back in and checked out another book. How many books do Taylor and Riley have together? Draw and label a number bond to show the part of the books Taylor took out and the part Riley took out. Write a number sentence, or I'm sorry, write a statement to share your answer. Now, what do we have to show? We have to draw and label a number bond. We know how to do that. Let's go ahead and draw our blank template number bond. Here's my number bond. Now, it says label. Here's how we're going to label it today. This side is going to be T for Taylor, and this side is going to be R, Riley. Okay? Now, if you need to draw out to help, can you do that? Well, yeah, it's a strategy we've been using. It's a strategy I want you to continue using until you can figure out how to do this on your own and get faster. Eventually, we're not going to draw out all the time, but if it's going to help you to figure something out, please do it. If there's a strategy that helps you to figure out how to do something, please use it, okay? So now let's read else and see what else we need to do. write a statement to share our answer. Now, can we write a statement template? No, because we don't have any information yet, so we can't write our sentence out, okay? So we're gonna wait and do that at the end. But right now, we're gonna draw and label our bond to show the part of the books that Taylor took out and the part that Riley took out. So let's go back and look for our clues. What is our important information to help us solve this? Taylor and her sister Riley each got 4 books from the library. I don't know about you, but my Sherlock Holmes senses are tingling because that right there just told me good information, good clues. Let's go back. Taylor and her sister Riley each got 4 books from the library. If it's telling me that they each got 4 books, that means both of them got 4 books. So Taylor got 4 books, Riley got 4 books. So let's do this. I'm gonna draw out 4 for Taylor. I'm gonna label that T for Taylor, and 4 books for Riley, okay? Now let's not fill this in yet because we're still looking for information. We're looking for our clues. Then Riley went back in and checked out another book. How many books did she check out? She checked out 1 more book. She checked out another book. So Riley went back and checked out 1 more book. Did Taylor? No, just Riley. So how many books do Taylor and Riley have together? Now we know what our question is. We have our information that we can solve. Okay, so how many did Taylor have? We're looking to solve for Taylor now. Taylor had 1, 2, 3, 4 books. So I'm going to come over here to this part that was labeled for T for Taylor and write 4. How many did Riley have? Well, we knew she had 4 also, but then she went back and got 1 more. So 4 and 1 more make 5. So I come to the one labeled R for Riley, and I'm going to say 5. Now, I can take that information I just used, and I can solve for my whole or my total. You know what this looks like? Here's 4, here's 4, and 1 more. It looks like a double plus 1. We know how to solve doubles plus 1. So 4 and 4 are my double. I know 4 and 4 make 8. 8 and 1 more make 9. So we have 9 total. So my question was, how many books do Taylor and Riley have together? Now I can write out my statement. I can say, together, they have, how many books did we find out? We have 9. They have 9 books. And we even did one step further and we drew out to help us. Okay, and that's fine. You know what? If it helps you to write out, do that. If it helped you to say, whoops, 4 plus 4 equals 8, and 8 plus the 1 more equals 9, you could do that too. Okay, lots of ways you can solve these. Use your strategies you know. If you had to count on with your fingers and say 4 and 1 more make 5, that's okay. If you wanted to count on with your fingers and say 5 and 4 make 9, that's okay. If you want to put it in your brain and count on, that's okay. Those are all strategies we're learning and that you can use. So please use those strategies to help you when you get to problems like this, okay? They're going to come in handy. They're going to come in real handy. And the more you do things that you know, the better you become. Practice makes perfect. So we've solved our case and we're ready to move on to our lesson. So you can erase that whiteboard, but keep it close by because we're going to use it in our lesson today with Miss Singleton. Miss Singleton, yeah. So I'm going to pause and get me ready for Miss Singleton, and then I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm ready to share my screen with you so we can watch Miss Singleton together. Let me make her a little bigger. Make sure my volume is all the way up and I'm ready to go. Make sure you have your whiteboard because we're going to be writing. She's going to have us write some things and we might, if you want to go ahead and make a number bond template, you can. I'm going to go ahead and make mine. All right. That way we'll have it ready to go. All right, here we go.
Hi friends, welcome. Today we will be solving math stories with addition and relating them to subtraction. Here are the materials you need for today's lesson. Take a moment to collect them and then we'll begin. Here's our first math story. Once upon a time, 4 little bears went to play tag in the forest. Some more bears came over. In the end, there were 6 little bears playing tag in the woods. How many more bears came to play? Talk to a partner, or you can just share with me a strategy that you used.
So let's think back to what she just said. She said there were 4 bears playing, some more came over, and then there were 6 bears altogether. Do you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like when we were figuring out our mystery number. Only this time she's showing us the mystery number. So what strategies could we use to solve a mystery number? Do you remember when we counted on? We could use that strategy. Let's see.
Write the number sentence 4 + 2 = 6.
Okay, so let's write that on our boards and go ahead and fill in your number bond, okay? Because we need to do our part whole. So I'm going to say there were 4 bears playing plus 2 more came along. Now there are 6 bears total. Now be careful when you fill out your number bond. Make sure you are putting the correct numbers where they go. Remember, this is my total. Let me zoom in a little closer. My total is how many I have all together. So here's my total, 6 bears, and then my parts. 4 bears were in the woods playing, 2 more came along.
Let's review the strategy of counting on. Circle the solution in both.
So we had 2 was our
count
solution.
On, I will start at 4.
4, 5, 6.
What does 6 stand for?
Remember we talked about that. That was the total. How many are all together?
The number of bears playing at the end. What does 4 stand for?
That's how many bears we had at the beginning.
The number of bears playing at the beginning. How many bears came over to play?
We decided that there were 2 bears that came to play.
2 bears, you're correct. We can make an imaginary line with our finger to show those 2 parts. 4 bears were there first, and then 2 more came. Many of you used addition to figure out how many bears came over to play. When we checked our work just now, we separated the 4 bears from the total group of 6 bears. Since we already know the whole and one part, we can use subtraction to find the other part.
Okay.
Talk to a partner, or you can just tell me about how we could write this as a subtraction sentence.
So how could we write this as a subtraction sentence? Remember, she said we already had the total and one of the parts to help us. So do you think maybe not having a part is going to help us write a subtraction sentence? Let's find out.
We can write 6 minus 4 equals 2 to show that we had 6 bears and separate 4 of them from the group, leaving us with 2 bears for the unknown part.
Remember, this is what
you write the subtraction on your board as I write it.
Okay, so I'm going to pause for a second because this is what we started with. We had 4 bears in the woods playing. Some more came along. Then we had a total of 6. Remember, we didn't know this part. So let's pretend it's gone, and let's use our 2 numbers that we have. Now, when we write a subtraction sentence and we have those 2 numbers, the bigger number always comes first. So make sure you are writing the bigger number first, okay? So 6 is a bigger number. So I'm going to say 6 minus 4 equals, okay? What does 6 minus 4 equal? 2.
Circle the answer to our question in the number sentence. Write the number bond that matches the parts and the total for this story. Add that to your board. Ready for another story?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Once upon a time, 8 bears were fishing for dinner. 5 bears had been fishing all day. The rest of the bears came after lunch. How many bears came after lunch?
How can we do that?
Solve and write an addition and subtraction number sentence along with a matching number bond.
So let's look at that
Press
again.
pause and work this problem, and I will work it also.
Okay.
When you're ready, press play.
All right.
So if I say,
look, she's getting too fast on me. So let's look at this. We had 8 bears, okay? We had 5 that had been fishing all day, and then 3 more came after lunch. So let's write that. We had 8 bears was our total. I'm going to put that total right there because I know it's 8. We had 5 that were there all day and 3 more that came after lunch. Okay, so how can I write that as my subtraction sentence? So I'm going to take those 3 away and we're going to say 8 minus 5. So let's start that. 8 minus 5 equals 3. Did you notice something? I noticed something on my board. I noticed that I just moved my signs around.
separate the bears. 5 had been fishing all day, and 3 came after lunch. So I will draw my imaginary line to separate the 2 parts. Share your number sentence and tell me what each number represents.
So we had 8
Remember,
bears.
there are 2 parts within the total, so you can draw that imaginary line between them.
We had 8 bears total. 5 were fishing before lunch or all day. 3 came after lunch to give us what we have. So if 8 were there, 5 all day, how many were after lunch? 3.
Good answer. Compare your answer to mine. Do both of your number sentences match your number? Did you get the correct answer?
Let's look at how hers are written and how mine are written. She has 5 plus 3 equals 8, but I have 8 equals 5 plus 3. Is that okay? Yes. Yes, it is, because our numbers are still getting the same answer. They're still in the same format. 5 plus 3, she's got 5 plus 3. Only our totals are on the opposite ends, and that's okay.
If you said yes, give yourself a round of applause. Great job. How are these number sentences the same? How are they different? Talk to a partner, or you can just tell me. I'm always listening.
You know how they're the same? They have all the same numbers. We're just using different signs. That's how they're different. I'm using subtraction here. I'm using addition here. I'm switching.
Now, just as before, remember both number sentences gave us the answer. The first time we used counting on and an addition sentence to solve. The second time we used subtraction. Let's try one more. Use your bear counters. Once upon a time, 5 bear cubs were climbing up a tree. More cubs became curious. So a few more cub bears climbed up the tree. Now there are 7 bears in the tree. How many curious bear cubs climbed the tree? Solve and write an addition and subtraction number sentence along with a matching number bond. Press pause and work this problem, and I will work it also. When you're ready, press play.
Okay, so let's look at this. She said there were 5 bears climbing in a tree. There were some more curious bears that came along, and they climbed the tree also. Now we have 7 curious bears in our tree. So we need to solve for this. But before we solve for that, let's go ahead and make our subtraction sentence using the 2 numbers we already have, okay? So let's put our 7 first because it's our biggest number. And when we subtract, we use the biggest number first. So we put 7 here. And then I'm going to subtract 5. Minus 5 equals our mystery, okay? So let's count on from 5 to 7 to see what we get. So 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. I have 2. Now, let's look at 7 and take 5 of those away. So let's hold up 7 fingers. You got 7 fingers? Now let's take 5 of those bears away. How many do I have left? I have 2. Let's look. Is that the same? Yeah. So now we can fill in our number bond. How many do we have total? 7. We had 5 that were in the tree. 2 more came along. Let's see if we're right. Did I hit play? Yep, I did.
So if I separate my 2 parts, I have my 5 bears that were originally there that climbed the tree, and I have my 2 bears that climbed the tree after they became curious. Here's my line to separate the 2 parts. Share your number sentences and tell me what each number represents.
So we had the 5 bears that were trees.
Your answer to mine.
2 that were in the tree, that came into the tree,
your number
and got 7.
Match your number bond?
Yes, they do.
Good work. If you got that correct, give yourself a pat on the back. You did great. As we wrap up this lesson, think about a math story on your own. Consider writing an addition and subtraction sentence to go along with your story. Now it's time to work on your problem set. You will have 10 minutes to complete problems 1, 2, and 4. If you have additional time in your 10 minutes, feel free to work any of the other problems on the page. Don't forget to think about your math story. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, so let's come back. Let's zoom out so you can see my board because we're going to look at our problem set together. That way you can see how we're supposed to work it. And that way if you get confused, you can come back and look at the video again. So let's get situated here. Let's look at number 1. All right, let's first read the directions because just like when we read our application problem looking for clues, our directions give us very important information and clues on how to solve our problems. So let's look at our directions first. Break the total into parts. Write a number bond and addition and subtraction number sentences to match the story. Okay, now again, if you get to your number or your problem set and you're like, I really don't know what that's asking me to do. Hey, look, there's an example right here in the corner, okay? This is not the answer to your problem, but this is an example. It shows you what they want you to do. But I'm gonna show you on number 1. Rachel and Lucy are playing with 5 trucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. If Rachel is playing with 2 of them, how many is Lucy playing with? Now remember, we have to break those up. And we're going to do this in one of 2 ways, okay? The first way is you can draw that line like she said in the video. You can say, well, here is 2 trucks. I'm going to draw my line with 2 trucks, okay? Or you can say, well, here's 2 trucks, and you can circle those 2 trucks. Either way is fine with me, okay? If it helps you to circle the number it's talking about, circle it. If you want to just draw that imaginary line, draw that line, okay? I did both on this one. So if Rachel's playing with 2 of them, how many is Lucy playing with? Well, let's go and fill our number bond in. This already has a 2. So let's see, how many does she have? 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to come over here and put 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Now I can fill in my subtraction sentence. 5 minus 2, here's my 5. Let's take those 2 away. I have 1, 2, 3 left. I can fill in my number bond. I have a total of 5 trucks. Rachel is playing with 2, and Lucy is playing with 3. Lucy is playing with 3 trucks. Now I want you to look really carefully. Did you draw a line or circle your picture? Did you fill in your number bond? Did you do an addition sentence? Did you do a subtraction sentence? Did you fill in the statement? Okay, you have to do all of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different things that you have to do. Okay, make sure you do them all because I will count off on them. So let's look at our next one. Oh, wrong thing. Wrong thing. Okay, same thing with this one. Just like I did before, you're going to do the same thing. Jane caught 9 fish. She caught 7 before she ate lunch. How many fish did she catch after lunch? You need to draw your line or circle, fill in your number bond, fill in your addition sentence, fill in your subtraction sentence, and fill in your number statement. Okay? Make sure you do all of that for this one problem. I'm not going to do that one because I want you to solve that one. Same with number 3. If you do number 3, let's look at number 4. John had 3 strawberries. Then his friend gave him more fruit. Now John has 7 pieces of fruit. How many pieces of fruit did John's friend give him? Again, draw your line or circle your parts, fill in your number bond, fill in your addition sentence and your subtraction sentence, fill in your statement. Okay? Now, you are going to do numbers 1, 2, and 4. You're going to do your exit ticket, and then you're going to come back and debrief, okay? Or you can just listen to the debrief before you do all that, and then you're done. So remember, you're doing exit ticket, all of it. You're doing set 1, 2, and 4. So let's talk about our debrief today. Actually, no, I think that's it. We're just going to do that. We're just going to stop right there because our debrief is not going to work with us on virtual. So go do your set 1, 2, and 4. Do your exit ticket for all of it, and then you'll be done with math today. Make sure you fill in all parts. There's 5 different parts for each problem, okay? If you don't fill them all in, you might have to count wrong. So make sure you do them all, okay? If you have questions, please email me. I'll gladly email you back to try to help you as best I can, or we can try to figure it out, okay? See you guys next time. Bye.